Hi, this is Nick from the Small Change Diaries, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about some different kinds of ukuleles. This is the first ukulele I bought. It's made by a company called Collings from Austin, Texas, and Bill Collins is mostly known for making acoustic guitars, of which I have one of his excellent instruments. A number of years back, he decided to move into making ukuleles. And I was in Matt Umanoff guitar store on Bleecker in the Village, and Matt Umanoff had just come back from the NAMM show in Nashville, and I spotted this, which is a pre-production concert ukulele, and you still can see on the back Matt Umanoff guitars. So this was before they decided to put any into production. And this is just delightful, simple, small-bodied ukulele, all made of mahogany, and it's just got the sweetest little sound. So if we just play a little bit on it, you can hear this. So very, very resonant, a very typical mahogany kind of sound. And on this one I've got some strings by a company called Ukuleles, which is an Italian company, and these are their red strings, so they've got copper in them and they're particularly resonant. And on here we've got a low G, so you've got as you would have on a guitar. So when you're playing sort of like a bass line run, you've got the low G sound. So it makes for a really cool playing instrument, and one of the great things about Bill's stuff is that everything plays great all the way up the neck. So it sounds just really, really nice. Simple, simple, simple. 4 strings, 1 piece of mahogany back, sides and neck, and that's pretty much it. So again, sweet sounds. Gone a little bit out of tune. So what we'll do is we will enlist the help of Mr. Bear the tuner and just tune this baby up a bit. There we go, so that should be better. So that's Collins Concert Ukulele. Really, really nice instrument. Let's have a look at some other Collins stuff. Now this is a sister Collins. I bought this again from Matt Umanoff Guitars in New York. Once again, Matt Umanoff sticker. Basically the same as the other one, but this was when they went into production. Now this has got a high G on it, so different, but similar sound. You'll notice that the strings are not as resonant, or, well, let's not say not as resonant, but different sound to the other one. Different strings, again, Ukuleles, but not the Red Series. And again, slightly out of tune, so let's just tune it up a little bit. In fact, this was in an altered tuning, which is why it did sound a little bit shit. So that should be better. So that sounds a little bit better. So we've got different sound. So again, concert ukulele, all mahogany, Ukuleles strings, nylon gut strings they call them. Really simple, sweet sound. Again, of course, 4 strings. Nice playing instrument. Okay. Now a tenor is slightly different. This is a bigger instrument. You'll see size-wise, this is a lot bigger than the concert. If we put them side by side, then you can notice that there's a big difference in size. Because there's a difference in size, you also get a difference in sound. This is, again, a mahogany-based instrument, but because it's bigger, you can hear sort of like a different sound from it. Leaning much more into a sort of guitar full sound. And again, a low G, so you get that. Really nicely made, simple instrument, and the intonation on it is just absolutely fantastic. None of these ukes so far have got pickups in them, so if you're going to use them live, you'd need to use either a bug mic. I would use a shirtlip stick-on mic, or you'd use some kind of microphone to mic it up. So that's a Collins Tenor. So again, different. Let's look at some other stuff. This is an Anue. This is made from mango wood. This came from Ukulele Mania in Tokyo. I highly recommend that you check out Ukulele Mania, and especially Dean in Ukulele Mania. You'll find them on the net if you Google Ukulele Mania Tokyo, and they're also on Facebook. Different sound. We've got some gut strings on this, so it's very different sounding. So it's almost like a banjo. Now it's made from mango wood, which is quite different to mahogany, so it's a different sound to it. Again, very simple, although I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that is a mahogany neck, but the rest of it, back and sides, is mango wood. Again, this was made in Vietnam, so not an American one like the Collins instruments, but again, different sound, more to my ears leaning into sort of like a banjo type sound, but nice and cool as well. So very different, less expensive. And because it's made of solid wood, it's got a really great sound to it. So if you're looking at buying a ukulele, I always advise, if at all possible, get something made from solid wood. With the low G and high G strings, this is something that you can decide whether you want it or not. I prefer it on some instruments as opposed to other instruments. It depends, really. I mean, this one here, this I found in a store in Yorkshire where I live, and this is made by a guy called Rob Collins, without the G, who has a company called Tin Guitar. You'll find tinguitar.com. And this was picked up by my missus, and it's, again, very, very different. Maple construction and very, very bright. So if we listen to this one. This has got gut strings on it, so it's very different to the other sounds that we've heard so far. Much more like a banjo, and of course it's much quieter because it's a very small body, but plays great. This is a nice instrument for playing certain types of music. It's not an all-round instrument. I originally bought this for traveling, but it's too specific for the sort of things I want to write and play when I'm traveling, but it still has a good place in my heart and my collection. So this is one of Rob's instruments, second of Rob's instruments. I asked him to build me this from scratch, and this is unusual in that it's made from African blackwood. You can see the back very clearly, and you can see the sides. Is the wood's called African blackwood, and the neck is a mahogany neck. Ebony fingerboard, and it's got an internal pickup in it. It's got a bags pickup in it. And again, different sound. So very, very sweet sound, and sounds great when it's amplified as well. The wood choice was based on a guitar I have made by Stefan Sobel. And when I first spoke to Rob Collings about building this, as soon as I mentioned the word African blackwood, I heard a sharp intake of breath down the phone, as if to go, oh God. Quote unquote, it's the worst wood in the world to work with. I think that's the polite version. I'm trying to encourage him to build me a second one if he can recover from the first one that he built, because it's very brittle and it breaks really, really easily, but it has a great sound to it. When he first put this together, and I was communicating with him on Facebook, he said, I've just stringed it up and it's loud, which is always a good sign. But again, great sound. So this is another one of Rob's guitars, and this is made in Yorkshire. And this with a pickup would be what I'd be using a lot of this on the Small Change Diaries tracks. So that's another UK guitar. Here's something very different. Very different for a number of reasons. Number one, it is made in Hawaii. And if my pronunciation is correctly, it's a Kuipo, Canalea Kuipo. Made from koa, so it's a different wood choice, and koa is very different to mahogany, very different to African blackwood. The heart I love in the middle here, which is just great, but we're not just going to buy it because it looks cute, even though it does look seriously cute. It has very different sound. It's got a high G on it, but it's like a different sound to the other ones. This again, it's got an ebony fretboard, plays fantastic. This was another purchase from the wonderful Ukulele Mania store in Tokyo, and I played probably 35 different ukuleles before just going, that's the one to bring back. Plays great, sounds great. There's no internal pickup in it, so you'd have to mic it up again. Nice tuners on the back, so you can see these really hold the strings really nicely, and it's just got a particular sound. I've kept this with a high G because I think it just sounds great. Again, slightly out of tune, so let's just rectify that. So that's the Canalea Kuipo. Very nice. Difficult to find in England, easy to find in Hawaii, but I've also noticed that I played a few of these and they are variable. This is a particularly good one. Second time I was in Ukulele Mania, my intention was to go back and buy another Canalier. In fact, I'd already scoped one out and had an idea of purchasing one. Picked it up and thought, yeah, it's nice, but I'm not blown away. It's not totally different to the other instrument. And you'll see on the smallchangediaries.com website, there's a video of me before I chose this particular instrument. And we'd gone through a whole bunch of different ukuleles. And in the end, I thought, let's just, Dean said, you should try one of these Shimos. He doesn't make many of them, and I think they sound just really, really great. This is Honduran mahogany. 5 strings, so unusual. So with this, we can have the option of both high or low G or either. So here's low G. Although not currently tuned into G. So we'll just tune that up a little bit. High G. So we can have both. Let's tune up the C. So what's cool about this is you can have all 5 strings. Or we can, for example, just get rid of the high G and just have the low G. Or vice versa, we can reverse that and have the high G. If you look for Shimo, Shimo, guitars.com, you will find pretty much the Valhalla of ukuleles. This was made by him. This is the Lax Comet, and this is number 7. He made 13 of these instruments last year, and this is number 7, and is absolutely fantastic. And as soon as I saw this, I said to Dean, I have to have it, irrespective of how much it costs. Christmas is cancelled. I've got to take it back with me. Just great instrument, plays great, sounds great. And of course, it's individually made. It's not off a production line, which makes a big difference. Obviously, solid wood, Honduran mahogany, sounds great, looks great. I thought I'd pretty much seen everything in terms of how great an instrument can sound in terms of a ukulele. And the next time I was in Tokyo, I met up with Shimo in a store called Heartman Guitars in center of Tokyo, in Shibuya. And the day before, I tried out a whole bunch of different instruments and basically got it down to about 2 or 3 Collings guitar ukes. Similar to what I had, but different, and very, very nice. Tried everything they had in the store, and then I saw that he had this one, which is the Comet 3. Picked this up, played 1 chord. That's it. Game over. It's a bit like watching Mike Tyson when he was in his prime. There is no contest. This was by far and away the best sounding, best playing instrument in the entire store. It's made of so many different woods, of so many exotic means, I couldn't possibly even begin to start to go into all of it. But it's a spruce top, and it sounds and plays fantastically. My friend and guitar luthier in the UK, when I sent him the spec for this, described it memorably as a Visa meltdown choice of woods. Sounds great, plays great. This Comet 3 was featured in a magazine called Ukulele Rhythms. They did a feature on it. It's the only one of its type. He made a couple more for specific musicians that are slightly different, but it's absolutely unique. And if I had to just run out of the house with one ukulele, probably one instrument, then this would pretty much be it. On the 13 instruments that he made, you'll see on every one there's a comet design. On this one you can see it on the actual headstock. Seriously cool instrument. Also unusually, the sound hole for this is not in the center. The sound hole is here. So what that means is you get a very different listening experience as a player, and you get a very different listening experience as somebody who's listening to the stuff being played. So just the sweetest sound. So that's it from me, Nick, from the Small Change Diaries. I hope you've enjoyed having a look at some of these different ukuleles and getting a sense of what they're like. You'll find us on our main website. You'll also find us on Facebook, and you'll hear a lot of these instruments being played on our tracks. And be sure to check out the video and audio on the site, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Every single moment.